And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you in a fairly slow toy news week this week, and we'll dive into all of that. But first, got to get into some housekeeping here, and of course, toy news this week, sponsored by jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Yes, 15%. Got to get a deal if there ever was one. We're coming up to the holiday season. Now you can save some money thanks to jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, as I said. And also, if you want to sponsor toy news or weekly purchases, hit me up. We'll work something out. That's the way it goes there. Also, new housekeeping. How about a little TikTok? Yes, finally on TikTok. Everybody's been saying get on TikTok. Finally got on there. Not really sure what I'm doing over there yet, but make sure you do subscribe, follow it over there. We'll see where the TikTok stuff goes in the future. You can also learn some of my sick dance moves. So there's a lot going on over there at TikTok. Just trying to keep up with my dad at this point. But check me out over there on TikTok. Follow along, all that kind of fun stuff. Everybody always tells you to do as well. Also want to make mention, we talked about the holiday season, a lot of toy drives going on. Of course, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast toy drive every single year. Check that out. Give some figures away to that if you can. Or there is the Fig Cave, of course, the Fig Cave Podcast. They have a toy drive every single year, so check out that one as well. And if you're not going to do those, do one of your local Toys for Tots. For me, there's a store right down the street from me that has a huge thing. They do a big donation thing every year. I put a bunch of toys over for that thing every single year. So that's my plan this year, as long as they have it. Haven't heard yet, but I'm sure they will. But always a good time to give to Toys for Tots this time of year, as we do know. So that's a little housekeeping right there, almost. I guess the last bit of housekeeping is Patreon. Of course, don't forget Patreon. So much content over there. It makes my head spin. I can't imagine others out there, but there's tons and tons of stuff going on Patreon every month. And of course, our November giveaway. This giveaway is the Ring of Honor Jazzwares Vault exclusive, of course, Mr. Brody Lee. So check out the Brody Lee exclusive. Check out the unboxing on the channel as well. But this is the Patreon giveaway. Head over to Patreon. Check it out if that is your thing. And I appreciate everybody supporting the channel. So there it is. There's the housekeeping. Also, a busy week for me this week. Saturday, a week ago, if you're watching this Saturday when it dropped, went to the G.I. Joe Assembly Required. Have a video up on Patreon for that as well. Big G.I. Joe toy show. My wife and I went to the Nikki Glazer stand-up performance, whatever you want to call it, comedy show. That Saturday night. Monday, oh baby, we'll talk more about this in weekly purchases. King Diamond Overkill, and then of course my boys in Night Demons, so got to hang out there, go to that show, got the old VIP experience, quite the fun time. Wednesday night, Exodus and Havoc were in town. I went to those shows. And then Saturday, as we're filming this right now, tonight is Ace Frehley, of course, playing in town here. So can't wait to see the Spaceman in concert. My daughter Emma, very, very excited. More on that in the future as well. And then Sunday, tomorrow, I guess we're going to the Billie Eilish concert. I'm not going. I'm sitting in the car and editing videos. I'm not paying $300 a ticket. But I'm going to drive the wife and kids to Omaha. We're going to go to that whole thing. We'll see how that goes. See if I survive another night in the parking lot. We'll see. We'll document it. Maybe something crazy will happen. You never do know. But busy times. But very quiet, like I said, on the action figure front this week. And we're going to dive into it. This week, shipping right now from Super 7. Have to imagine other retailers shortly behind there. It is the Super 7 Ultimate Matt Cardona figure. Yes, Matt Cardona in his Jurassic Park-inspired gear, we'll call it. That is shipping right now from Super 7. So, of course, go to the Super 7 website. Use code KYLEP to support the channel, as we always do say there. But moving on to some more wrestling this week. Top Rope Collectibles, of course, making the Galoob-style figures. Looks like they have signed one Mark Marrow, and he is going to come out as Johnny B. Bad. Now, Johnny B. Bad fits in this headspace of the Galoobs, if you ask me. Of course, they got Buff Bagwell, Paul Orndorff coming. PN News will be the first one to deliver early next year, it sounds like. So Top Rope Collectibles keeps the hammer down with Johnny B. Bad. We also saw WrestleFeds. I just missed this barely last week for the toy news, so we'll talk about it here. WrestleFeds, another retro toy line. There's a lot of retro wrestling toy lines. It's getting very hard to keep track of, as we do know. But they do have another British Bulldog, because that's what we need, is more retro British Bulldogs. But I gotta say, it looks really good in the package, very Hasbro inspired. We'll see how this one nets out. Of course, variant editions like we see with most of these as well. So we do have those right around the corner. We also saw, of course, Grapplers and Gimmicks. A lot of Grapplers and Gimmicks unboxings on the channel this week. Kurt Fuller we unboxed, of course. More British Bulldogs, unboxed those. And depending when I launch it, we do have Sensational Sherry ×2 on Patreon for sure, though, right now. So we did unbox those this week, but this week we did see some samples of Downtown Bruno. Very excited for that one. Harvey Whippleman, whatever you want to end up calling him. Can't wait to see how that pairs with my Giant Gonzalez figure. We also saw Lord Alfred Hayes and Sean Mooney, two announcers from back in the day. Everybody remembers if you were watching at the time. So we did see those from Grapplers and Gimmicks. And we also saw kind of their mutated monster line with Henry Godwin and Phineas I. Godwin, a.k.a. Hog and Pig. We did see those. So those are coming around the corner into the new year as well, if that is your thing. So a lot of stuff is always going on with the Grapplers and Gimmicks line, as we do know. We also saw Major All-Stars this week. A little bit of an update. I kind of thought these were going to be out by now, but it seems like they're still working on some things. We did see some prototype images of some of the Major All-Stars from, of course, the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. Collect Major Bendies, Big Rubber guys. They got quite the setup over there with many different toy lines going on right now. But the Major All-Stars working their way to the market. We'll see how those end up doing, but wanted to show off some images of those. I thought they looked pretty good. We also saw this week Figure Collections. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% over at Figure Collections. They did put up 3 Jeff Jarretts, or I should say 2 Jeff Jarretts. We get the old school Aztec Jeff Jarrett, and then you get Jeff Jarrett in the blue trunks. Now, J&J Figures is going to have an exclusive Jeff Jarrett in the red trunks. You'll only be able to get that at J&J Figures, so head there if you're looking for the red trunks. Blue and the Aztec will be at Figure Collections. Like I said, Kyle saves 10% over there. And we talked about it last week. Zombie Sailor, he's got the Elite Style Jeff Jarrett come. So looking good for Jeff Jarrett in the next 6 months or so, hopefully. If all goes well. If all goes well. And speaking of things not going so well right now, how about the Legends of Lucha Libre, the Boss Fight Studios, Masked Republic figures? Delay. I haven't been getting as worked up about them as maybe the Asylum and definitely the Power Town figures, because maybe this is just me in my instance, so this is probably why I'm not so worked up. I pre-ordered these at Big Bad Toy Store, and of course you don't pay at Big Bad Toy Store until they ship, but many delays on these figures. Of course, Laredo Kid, Tanablus Jr., Taya Valkyrie, and Vampiro are that wave. Been anxiously awaiting them, but delay after delay after delay. Now it looks like early 2025 for these. So pretty disappointing. Wish they could have got out there, but once again, I didn't have to pay up front. If I did, I'd be a little bit more perturbed, let's call it, but instead, it's just a delay. So that's what it is. But if you paid, I can see you be worked up, just like Power Town. How long are they going to sit on your money? That's not always fair. We're not a big fan of that here on this channel, as you guys do know as well. Moving on, of course, last week we talked about J&J Figures. Looks like they got to sell an exclusive a little bit early. It is the Black Friday Zombie Sailor toy exclusive Slick, because we needed a third retro Slick. It's just the way it's going to go here. So I like that it's a Black Friday drop. Like that it's not something part of a regular Zombie Sailor line. It's just something off there, and have to imagine pretty low run on this one, because let's be honest, most people don't need 3 Slicks in their collection. At least I don't think they do. You guys tell me, but I ordered it, so there you go. I'm complete on that line as of right now. Still incomplete, I should say. But if you're looking for that one, it sounds like Black Friday exclusive over there at Zombie Sailor Toys. But that's it for wrestling. Looking at my notes here, man, a very, very busy week. But as Jerry Reed always says, and he might not be totally right in this instance, as we just got a few little things to cover here. Like I said, this could be one of the shortest toy newses of the week that we've ever had on the channel. So very groundbreaking history being made right here on the channel today. But how about a little G.I. Joe? I did unbox Storm Shadow version 2, as he's affectionately known over there, the G.I. Joe Classified line on the channel this week. Check out that review if you did miss that for whatever reason. But Storm Shadow I did unbox, and in that video I did mention, boy, I hope they get sliced and diced. dice. I saw those kind of Wolverine claws, reminded me, threw me back to nostalgia. So let's get Slice and Dice out there. And then I dropped the video this week, and most people know, but some people think I do all these videos live. So when they watch the YouTube video, I'm doing it live, I think. But I got so many comments in there. They've announced Slice and Dice. They've announced Slice and Dice. Well, it's not a live video, and as you guys know, a lot of the videos are filmed weeks, months, sometimes years ahead of time. Yes, it's true. And I guess I was talking about wanting Slice and Dice, and it was a week, I think, before I filmed that video. So it's just a funny thing that everybody's like, this isn't live. I know, I'm aware, but Slice and Dice are coming to the Classified series next year. Sounds like possibly a 2-pack. It'd be interesting if we get all these Ninja Force guys. Could we get Dojo and Jbang together as a 2-pack? We'll see what happens, but Slice and Dice right around the corner there. So excited for that. You know me, I love my Classified series. I keep waiting for a doorbell ring for the Dragonfly, because you got to sign for the Dragonfly, and apparently it is coming today. Fingers crossed on that. Very hard to think, how am I going to unbox this Dragonfly? Those things always give me anxiety. I don't know if it's really anxiety, but it's a lot harder to unbox something like that than just a one-off figure, of course. But I'm leaning towards unboxing the Dragonfly with Wild Bill as a video, and then doing the other ones separately. So that's probably my plan, because I just don't want to have a 2-hour video. And I don't know about 2 hours, but you know what I mean. Don't want a long video there. So stay tuned for the Dragonfly unboxing this week on the channel. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. How about a little Mondo? Mondo driving me absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anti-Eternia Battle Cat this week. Designer Con exclusive, limited to 500. Oh my gosh. Speaking of 500, $500. And they got Duplicat coming in the future. How many cats do I need? Am I starting a rescue league here for cats? I don't know. But if you're after that Anti-Eternia He-Man Battle Cat, $500 up for sale right now as you're watching that. Could sell out, but at $500 and only 500, we'll see how it ends up shaking out there. But speaking of big purchases, Legions Con last week. Legions Con, huge event every single year, of course, where they announced a brand new wave. We got snake men and women, I guess we'll call it there. We got a big overgrown lion type guy. We got a bit of a werewolf guy that looks really cool. I'm here for these beasts, but the biggest beast they showed there is apparently going to be this huge dragon. Just absolutely next level. Love at first sight for a lot of us, but then we sit and think, where do you put something like this? This thing is absolutely gigantic. It's about the size of this table right here. And I love it. I love big figures, but it gets to the point. I just talked about the Dragonfly. You got Galactus, Sentinels, Hiss Tanks, the Rattler coming. Where do you find room for all these giant beasts or vehicles? I guess that's a problem for future Kyle. I'll definitely probably order this dragon, but rumors are they're going to have 4 or 5 different ones, different color schemes, different heads. I don't know where I'd find room for all those. So I'd probably have to be one and done in the dragon game, and one is probably pushing it. Just because I don't know where exactly to put that one. But we'll figure it out. We always end up doing it. But man, definitely a breathtaking announcement at Legion Con last week. A very cool one with the Rise of the Beast. But the coolest thing was, for sure, that dragon. And it really feels like we're talking all the expensive stuff. The Mondo Anti-Eternia, the dragon. Now we turn our attention to Todd McFarlane on the couch. Todd, great to have you here once again. Batman New Adventure Batman solicited this week. So a lot of people that like the New Adventures of Batman will like that one. But we're not draining it on that. We're going to talk about this Joker talk show set. Of course, you'd announced that at New York Comic Con not too long ago. Saw some beautiful images. I was over the moon about this one. I love the idea of a talk show set. I think that is a very, very cool idea. Love this pack. Of course, you got the Joker. I saw the first Joker movie. Didn't do anything for me. Never saw the second one. Of course, a lot of bad reviews for that one. I'll see it probably someday. But I really want a talk show set. I think it'd be cool for Tuesday Night Titans. I think it would just be cool for figure photography. I think it'd be just cool to have. So I've all been on in this one. You also got the Robert De Niro figure there. So very, very cool idea. But man, oh man, I was not expecting a $250 price point. I don't think anybody was expecting that. That tells you the license for the movie is probably expensive. Is that what it is, Todd? Is that what's going on? Whoa, I see. Todd just went like this and threw away the key. He said, you can't talk? You can't talk? Can't give the details out? I see how it is. But $250 is a lot for a talk show set and 2 figures. I guess you get a sketchbook and a few other things, but huge box set, which is very, very cool. But man, $250 is a tough pill to swallow. I am going to swallow that pill, though. I'm going to do it because I want this talk show set. But I'm telling you right now, Todd, I'm going to start charging you rent if you re-release this thing cheaper with no figures or something like that. ooh, you're going to be in the doghouse, you're going to be sleeping out on the streets, and I hope it's wintertime and you freeze. That's what I'll say if you do that. Hopefully you do not do that. But man, it looks very, very cool. But 250 cool? I don't know. I think a lot of people that were on the fence are definitely passing on this one. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up shaking out there. But that's it. That is the toy news this week. A fairly slow toy news, as I did say. That's all right, though. That's all right every once in a while. It means our pockets are a little bit safer this week. But you never know what next week will bring. We'll have to stay tuned for that. But I do know what the next segment will bring. It's time for the Album of the Week. All right, time for Album of the Week, and this week, very fitting because I did get to hang out with these guys. You guys know I wear the love on my sleeve for this band, and who are we talking about? We're talking about Night Demon. We're going to go Year of the Demon, and I probably did this as Album of the Week a year ago, year and a half ago, something like that when it came out. But man, oh man, I love, love, love Night Demon. You know that. I love new wave of British heavy metal inspired music, and I love the new wave of traditional heavy metal music, and that's what Night Demon is. Just a fabulous, fabulous band, and what I love too is the do-it-yourself, hard-working attitude. Just those guys crush it. They're doing everything. Jarvis, the leader of the band, the singer of the band, the bass player of the band, manages the band. He manages a ton of other bands, has a record label, merchandise. There's just so much that goes on. Tours the world. Just an amazing thing. And of course, did the theme song for this very YouTube channel. Had a long talk with them, of course, this week when I met them and got to hang backstage and stuff. It was very cool for them. I was very honored for them to give me a backstage pass for my wife and I, so we got to go hang out and, of course, see King Diamond Overkill as well. Just a fabulous, fabulous night. And even talk of an updated new theme song for the channel in the future. We'll see what happens there. The first one's doing pretty good for me. I love that song. And it's so cool to have Night Demon tell me, Jarvis said, hey, I tour the whole world, and people will come up to me and say, hey, we found out about your band from a YouTube channel, and do they know that, you know, they're using your song and stuff? Like, yeah, it's my friend Kyle. He's got this, which is a very cool thing, very flattering that I could introduce anybody to Night Demon, or they could introduce me to them or whatever, you know. It's just very cool. One-way, two-way approach there back and forth. But Year of the Demon, a bit of a compilation album, came out during COVID. Some great live stuff on there. Uli John Roth is on the album with them, doing a Scorpions cover. Got some deep cut covers on there, some one-off singles as well. A bit of a compilation album, but man, an all-time banger, one I listen to all the time, as long with the rest of the Night Demon discography out there. The Year of the Demon is going to be the Album of the Week this week. So there it is. That's the toy news. That's the Album of the Week. What toy news were you excited about? Are you buying this Anti-Eternia Battle Cat? Are you getting this Joker play set? Did you get your Dragonfly? And what about this big, big dragon from Mythic Legions? Are you dabbling in that as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments of the week. And of course, don't forget to let me know your album of the week. Be interested to hear what you're jamming out to as well. So a very busy week out there, of course. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I should say, thanks to everybody, we did hit 45,000 subscribers. Very easy for me to say, of course, but on our way to 50,000. So hopefully we get to 50,000. I feel like when we get to 50,000 subscribers, we got to do something extra special. We got to do some big time giveaways. Stay tuned for that, I guess, in the future, whenever that day comes. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and my other YouTube channel. 2 channels with content every day. Patreon, tons of stuff over there. Your best way to support the channel. ProWrestlingTees.com. You can go over there, support the channel. And don't forget my book, now available on Kindle. It is the Classic Superstars book, the complete guide, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kindle today. Talked about it earlier, TikTok. It's a thing now. Check me out on TikTok. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for another toy news of the week, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling, my way to the Ace Frehley Show.